So the apples, tender and crispy at the same time. Cake is nice and buttery. You get a nice rum taste to it. Okay, in a separate bowl, we're gonna add 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and this is just pink Himalayan salt, but regular table salt will work fine. And we're gonna mix this and then set it to the side for now. We're gonna take a springform pan and we're gonna grease it either with butter, flour, baking spray, or you could line it with parchment paper. I'm gonna use baking spray. And once that's all good and greased, we're gonna set that aside too. You're gonna wanna use a nice baking apple. I'm using Honey Crisps. You're either gonna use Honey Crisp or Fuji or Granny Smith, something that's gonna hold its shape when it's baked. You don't want something that's gonna turn into applesauce once it gets in the oven. First thing you're gonna wanna do is peel your apples. Next thing we're gonna do is dice our apples. Easiest way I found, slice them down the middle. Once all our apples are in a bowl, we're gonna get a squeeze of lemon. Just give your apples a nice squeeze of that lemon juice. Mix them around. Then we're gonna set this to the side for now. Okay, in our stand mixer bowl, we're gonna add 1 stick of salted butter. And to that, we're gonna add 2/3 cup of granulated sugar. Okay, so we're gonna put this into our stand mixer. And we're gonna beat this on medium speed for about 3 minutes until light and fluffy. So once you got something that's light and fluffy, like this, we're ready to move on to the next step. We're gonna scrape down the side of the bowl. Then we're gonna take 2 eggs, and we're gonna add them one at a time, beating well after the addition of each egg. At this point, your batter should look a little grainy, and that's perfectly normal. What we're gonna do next, on low speed, we're gonna add some vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon, and 3 tablespoons of dark rum. Once the rum and the vanilla extract is mixed in, we're going to add our flour mixture until just barely combined. Low speed. Okay, once our flour is just barely mixed in, we're going to scrape down the sides of the bowl, scrape off our paddle attachment, and then move on to the next step. At this point, we're going to take our apples, scoop them right into our bowl. We're gently going to fold in these apples until they are just barely combined with the batter as one. We're going to take our prepared springform pan, mixture right in. Okay, once everything's in there, you can just press it down and level it off a bit. You don't have to go too crazy. Once that's done, we're gonna take about a tablespoon of white granulated sugar. You're gonna sprinkle it over the top of your cake. Once that's done, this is gonna go into a 350-degree oven for 40 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out clean. So once our cake is out of the oven, our toothpick is coming out clear, We're gonna let this cool in our springform pan for about 1 hour before we remove it. Okay, so once our cake is cool, one last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna hit this with a little bit of powdered sugar. And then that's it. Our cake is ready to serve. But how did we do? So the apples, since we chose like a baking apple, well, we used Honeycrisp. The apples really, you know, they still hold their texture, they still hold their shape, but they're still tender and crispy at the same time. The cake is nice and buttery. You get a nice rum taste to it. The sugar on top, you know, kind of caramelizes a little bit. Overall, it's really good. I mean, you should have everything else in your pantry. So if you have the apples and the rum, definitely consider making this cake. As usual, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, listen up, because I'm not tired of fall yet. Okay, we're gonna go right in. We got our oven set to 350. We got a baking dish, buttered and floured for that extra flavor and non-stick goodness. Okay, in a medium bowl, we're gonna add our dry ingredients. First up, 2 cups of all-purpose flour. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. 1½ teaspoon of ground ginger. 1 teaspoon of salt. I got pink Himalayan. And lastly but never least, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Go ahead and mix this up as we always do. Okay, in a separate, larger bowl, we're gonna add this. This right here is 15 ounces of pumpkin puree. We're gonna add this puree to our bowl, followed by 1½ cups granulated sugar, 1 cup of vegetable oil, 4 large eggs. Let's see if we can do this without breaking any shells. Without getting shells in the pan, obviously we gotta break shells.
No shells. No shells. Oh my god. No shells. I gotta tell somebody. Hello? Ma? Yeah, no shells. Wow, yeah, I did it. No shells.
With that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla and a little teaspoon of pumpkin spice. We're going to go in and give this a really good mix. Okay, once that's all mixed in, and I might need a bigger bowl. I don't know. Hoping I don't. We're going to take our dry ingredients, add these to our wet ingredients, get it mixed up just until combined. Most of our flour is all mixed in. I don't know why I didn't use my stand mixer. I don't know why I didn't think I could do it without it. My arm is killing me. Whew. Okay, now the last thing I want to add to this, we're going to add about a cup of walnuts, and we're going to chop them, rough chop. Now, of course, you don't have to add this. You can do whatever you want, make it your own. Add pecans, a different kind of nut. I'm going to add walnuts. I'm just going to rough chop these. If you don't want to rough chop them, you could throw them in your food processor. I'm just being lazy. Or is it being lazy doing it this way? Well, I'm too lazy to get out my food processor, I know that. Once they're all rough chopped, add them right to your pumpkin mix, mix it in. I'm gonna fold this into our pumpkin mix. Doesn't that look beautiful? I'm gonna add this right to our baking pan. Once all our batter is in there, we're gonna flatten this out. This pan might be a little too big. I don't know. This might be a flat cake. Hopefully it rises up a little bit. I think it'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. Now this is going into our 350-degree oven for 30 minutes, or until the toothpick in the center comes out clear. You know the deal. Our cake is out of the oven, and it's been cooling for a little while now. Okay, so now that our cake is cooled for a little bit, the next thing we're gonna do is make our frosting. Cream cheese frosting. Maple cream cheese frosting. And then to decorate, I got a special surprise. I got these leaf sprinkles, which are pretty awesome. Okay, the ingredients for our frosting are pretty simple. We got 3 cups of powdered sugar that we sifted, 8 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese, minus the extra powdered sugar, 1 stick or half a cup of softened butter, some maple extract, and again, this is optional. You don't have to make your cream cheese filling maple extract. That's just what I'm going for. To start, very simple, we're gonna add our cream cheese and our butter to this bowl, pinch of kosher salt into the mixer. We'll mix this about 3 minutes on medium-low speed. Okay, after those 3 minutes, scrape down the side of the bowl if you need to. I don't look like I need to. Put this back on low speed and slowly add all of your powdered sugar. Okay, once all your powdered sugar is added, scrape down the sides of the bowl. Next, we're gonna add our maple extract. I'm gonna go for about a teaspoon. Okay, put this back on. Mix this for about another minute to 2 minutes, tops. Okay, our icing is looking amazing, smelling amazing, tasting amazing. Got an offset spatula. And really what I'm gonna do, my plan is, I have no plan, I'm just gonna kind of plop the icing on and then go at it with my offset spatula, make a little pattern or something. Okay, I'm gonna take my spatula and spread this around. Now I take my spatula, just kind of make some squiggles, in and out, pull back. Give it that effortless look. And with our sprinkles in hand, gonna just drop them on, kind of like falling leaves.
Oh, it's a big piece.
Might have been a mistake.
That's amazing. This is amazing. Grace. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next video, guys. Hey everyone, today we're going to make this pumpkin French toast. We're going to start by clearing off our workspace and getting out some of our ingredients, which of course is milk, pumpkin puree, which is the star of the show, a couple of eggs, and our bread. Now for our bread, today I'm going to use potato bread, but you can use whatever bread you want. However, I wouldn't recommend using whole wheat bread or any type of wheat bread, so whatever you use, just don't use that. I don't know, for some reason it never makes good French toast. It always comes out kind of nasty. So yeah, just go with the white bread or the brioche or something like that. Next, I got this pumpkin spice bakery emulsion for even more of a pumpkin-y flavor, pure vanilla extract, and now our spices. We got ground allspice, cinnamon, and lastly some nutmeg. Next, we'll get to cracking our eggs in a large bowl. I'm going to use about 4 eggs. This recipe is going to make kind of a lot. Okay, so next we'll get into the star of our show, which is our pumpkin puree. Well, it's not the star of the show, but it's the main ingredient. I mean, pumpkin puree has to be the main ingredient when you're making pumpkin French toast. So for this, we're going to use about a cup of pumpkin puree. And to that, we're going to add about half a cup of milk, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of our pumpkin spice, a teaspoon of our ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, and 1/4 teaspoon of our nutmeg. And lastly, to balance out everything and make sure we got the right amount of sweetness, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of granulated sugar right to this mixture. Okay, after that, we're going to fumble our whisk, trying to flip it. But then we're going to take our whisk after we recovered it and give this a nice, good mix. Trust me, you want everything here to be nicely incorporated and all mixed in all throughout. Now you don't have to do this next step, but I'm going to transfer my mixture into a pie pan just so it's a little bit more shallower so I can get a nice even layer when I go to dunk my bread. Now what you're going to want to do next is a crucial step. You're going to want to butter down or oil down your pan or griddle after each batch because this type of mixture especially will stick. Then after that is business like usual. You're going to take a slice of bread, give it a couple of dunky dunks into our mixture, and then right onto your hot, buttered, flat top or pan, whatever you're using it goes, and we're going to repeat those same steps for the rest of our bread. Now cooking times are going to vary slightly. You're going to want your heat right about at a medium, And you're gonna wanna cook these for about maybe 3 to 4 minutes on each side. And I mean, if it's not ready to flip, don't flip it yet. As you can see, this one probably could use another minute, maybe even 2 minutes. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, we'll take the ones that are done, move them down to the side, make a little bit of room, and then we're gonna butter down our skillet again so it doesn't stick. A nice healthy amount of butter, and then get the rest of our batches on. And then it's the same thing. You give your pieces of bread a quick dunky dunk in the batter, fry them for about 3 minutes on each side until golden brown, and then you're good to go. Okay, and once all our French toasties are done, we're gonna get a nice looking platter to serve these up on. And we're gonna put these in a nice little display. And while our French toasties are still nice and warm, we're gonna put on some more butter. I mean, why not? You only live once after all. You might as well enjoy yourself. And we're gonna top that with some syrup. And that's it. Our pumpkin French toast is done. It's looking nice and golden brown and beautiful. We're gonna spread that butter over everything, that nice melted butter, and we're gonna go in for a delicious bite. Now let me tell you, and I'm not just saying this was definitely so good. It was, you know, had a nice pumpkin flavor, the butter and the syrup. But of course, I mean, you could put butter and syrup on anything, it will probably taste good, but these or something else. If you're looking for something that has that pumpkin flavor, that you wanna, you know, fill that pumpkin void in your life, this is definitely good. You should definitely make this. It was a little heavy though, so if you plan on making this, don't plan on doing anything for the rest of the day because you are gonna be in a food coma, so cook accordingly. All right, I'm out, bye. What's up guys? Today we're going to be asking some of the tough questions. Should you make banana bread? Should you put walnuts in it? Chocolate chips and a splash of rum? We'll find out. To begin, grab yourself 2 loaf pans, this recipe is a double, and spray it down with your choice of non-stick spray. Then grab yourself 2 bowls, a large bowl and a small bowl. Set the large one to the side for now. Grab your small bowl. Let's do it to it. To it, add 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of salt. Grab your favorite whisk. Whisk this up, then set it to the side. Okay, so that large bowl we were talking about before, reach for it. Then to it, we're gonna add 4 overripe bananas. Then we're gonna grab a potato masher, or you could use a fork, and we're gonna get to mashing. You wanna mash these up nice and fine. Stand mixer with the paddle attachment, or a hand mixer works just as well. To your bowl, add half a cup or 1 stick of butter, room temperature. Add 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Add your bowl to your stand mixer and mix on medium speed for about 5 minutes. After which, we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of rum extract. If you don't have rum extract, you could use real rum, of course, or you could use vanilla extract. Mix that for another few minutes until light and fluffy. Scrape down the sides of your bowl and your paddle attachment. Then we're gonna add our bananas right to the bowl. And while that's mixing together on low speed, we're gonna slowly add 2 eggs that we whisked together. After our eggs are all mixed in, we're gonna slowly add our flour mixture little by little. And we also got 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips with a little bit of that flour mixture on top, mixed in so that our chocolate chips don't sink to the bottom once we're in our batter. And while the rest of our flour is being worked into our batter, we're gonna chop up 1 cup of walnut. The batter that matters is ready. Last step, we're gonna add our chocolate chips, and we're gonna add in our 1 cup of chopped walnuts. Let that all mix in nice and good. Next, we're gonna divide our batters in half into 1 loaf pan, half into the other loaf pan. Once all your batter is in, give these a nice little jiggle to help them settle. Then we're gonna bake these in a preheated 350-degree oven for 60 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out clean. Then let these sit in the loaf pan for 10 minutes before removing them to a wire rack to cool completely. But I like to eat these warm, so I'm not gonna be doing that. Alright, I went in for a bite, and let me tell you, as non-biased as I can, this was amazing. I mean, we already know chocolate, bananas, walnuts, rum, bread. It's all things that go together, so it's no surprise that these were delicious. I mean, simply amazing. You gotta make these. Please do. Alright everyone, that's it for me in this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.